Good morning, you guys. Thanks for coming to another Mobility Matters here at Bent on Fitness. I'm Susie Gillette, and I want to welcome you to this session. Now, with mobility, again, we're always working on where we're starting right here, and it's really easy to get caught up in what we can do or what we used to be able to do, and forget about where we start, and then where can we progress from there. So I want you to connect into that mindset. We also always want to start out with a baseline movement so you can see where that movement goes to and give yourself the best opportunity to notice when things move better and or move different. The same movement is great, but we're looking for better and maybe just a different way to look at our own movement, because we tend to get stuck very often in our movement patterns that we're assuming are supposed to be a certain way or another. So let's get ready to go. We're going to stand up. And I just want you to find a baseline move. And again, a baseline move can be an overhead reach, and you can notice your shoulders, your neck, your back. A baseline move could be easily just a turn of the head, and notice if there's any stiffness or catching. You can also do a forward fold, and then bring yourself back up, and notice the weight that it takes you to go down and back up. Or if it feels easy, or if there's a lot of pulling in the hamstrings. A lot of people spend a lot of time doing hamstring stretches and so on for the next day to come right back again. But when you do mobilization and mobility practice, you're opening up every part of the body, not just the hamstrings, and telling the hamstrings to get pulled, but you're getting the toes, the ankles, the knees, the hips, the shoulders to settle so the hamstrings don't have to hold so tight and do what they're doing. So since we're standing up, we're going to start with some breathing. So place your hands on your belly. Let your feet just be level, evened out. You can have shoes on or shoes off. I'm having my shoes on. Actually, you know what? I'm a big girl. I can take my shoes off. Remember, if you're just joining us at any time, go ahead and you can leave a comment down below. Just wave and say hi if you're passing through, or stay for a while and join us. There'll be segments of times where you can just get up and go if you want to, and then have a movement pattern that works for you. So let's start here again. Check your baseline. Make sure you're where you're at or where you know you're going to be going. And then let's put the tongue at the roof of our mouth. Place your hands on your belly and begin to just inhale through your nose. So when we breathe with our tongue against the roof of our mouth, keep going. You really connect into releasing all these muscles around here, from your TMJ muscles, the mastoid muscles, the neck muscles, all the way, all these muscles down into the chest, releasing some pressure into the internal pressure of the belly, allowing the diaphragm to release the organs. And remember, it's not a chest breath, it's a belly, rib cage, and back breath. So you could even put your hands on your back and feel your back expand as well. Let's start with our hands back on our belly again, and we're just going to drop our chin to our sternum and our chin up. So moving your head, nodding your head can help to reconnect you into what's called your vestibular system, which is really the mechanism of all mechanisms that connect into your balance. So the balance of your breath and your movement, the balance of your organs, the balance of your nervous system. It's every movement connected into one. Remember, you were not made in pieces. You were made as one. You were started in the center and made continuously all throughout the entire body. So every part connects to every other part. If you ever ask me, why does my toe hurt? I'll say, I don't know, but maybe something else does in the body. Or it's so weird when I move this part, my other part of my body tends to react. That is your body's mechanism of keeping you connected. Good. Inhale, look to your left, look to your right. Breathe. Feel the rib cage still expand. Keep that tongue against the roof of the mouth. And then let's bring our head center and just do a cross crawl. So a cross crawl is like a crawling mechanism on the ground. When babies crawl, they actually are strengthening their whole body. They're learning to connect the right and left sides of the body. They're learning fine motor skills in their toes and in their hands because they're touching different things. So as we put our feet to the ground, you can feel the ground underneath the toes. This is why it's nice to not wear heavy-soled shoes while you do mobility, but something light and flat. Like my shoes are pretty flat, but a lot of people wear like running shoes or something like that, and those are really too heavy, or cross trainers. 3, 2, and last one. Good. Let's just rotate around the torso, just easy. Let that back heel lift up. Let your eyes move around the body. So your eyes move, head moves, body moves. Couple more. And then let's come back. Let's recheck your baseline here. Check those arms if you took your arms over your head. Does it just feel about the same, better, maybe a little different? Or maybe you just want to turn your head to the right and left. Maybe your baseline move was a forward fold. And maybe the movement isn't deeper, but the movement just feels more active, more available. Or maybe as you come even down into that, you can come deeper and lower without a lot of thought. So sometimes we're thinking, oh, I can't go lower. And then I'm like, oh, I realize that I'm actually touching the ground with my hands on the ground. So let's come down to the ground. And let's come into all fours, into hands and knees. Hey, Hillary. Hello, Dave Jackson. And let's do some knees rocking. So we're shifting forward, shifting back into our knees. So our toes are on the ground, kind of spread out. Our hips are dropping back. Chest is up. And body is nice and long. And a knees rocking is a great motion just to really reset. So if you've been sitting in a car or sitting in a chair or sitting anywhere for a period of time, it's a very easy way to get a squat in and open up the hips, the heels, the knees, the hips, the shoulders, the back, the elbows, what? Everything? Yeah, everything. So it's this nice way to get everything connected without a lot of force in the body or feeling like, oh, I got to get into a squat and stretch my back. No, you get to just move. So keeping that tongue at the roof of your mouth, keep that breath flowing into your rib cage. And then we're just going to begin to do a circle. So circle to your right or left, it doesn't particularly matter. And look if you want, you can add kind of a reset motion. And realize any one movement that I do, whether it's just breathing, head nods, head turns, this knees rocking or knees turning, these are all individual movements that you can do on their own as a reset for your movement. And then go the other direction, circle around. Good. Come back to center, pause, bring those knees in, and let's sit all the way back. So I'm back on my butt side, and I'm just going to rock my knees. I'm going to start with what's called a kind of a seated windshield wiper, and that helps to open up the chest and shoulders. So as I rock to my left, my right shoulder has to resist and restrain, and then vice versa. So if this is too much, you can, on your hands or your wrists, you can always take your hands off the ground. You can even do this with no hands on the ground if you want, and you're still going to get rotation and movement in the shoulder. Because remember, everything is connected. Couple more, side to side. Then let's take the same rocking motion and go to the ground. So you're on your back on the ground, and your knees are going to go side to side. So if putting your head on the ground makes you dizzy, nervous, anxious, just put a pillow behind the back of your head and lift your head up a little bit. Modifying isn't bad. Modifying isn't wrong. It isn't a sense of weakness. It's just allowing your body to come more gently into something. And then let's bring the same movement so your knees are up off the ground, or feet are up off the ground. And you can feel that pull from your right shoulder to your left. And see if you can get those knees to go all the way to the ground without a lot of work. If it takes a lot of work to get them up, then don't go that far. Just only go to the place where you don't have to overstrain to get those knees to come back up. So from the center, we're going to take our hands and stir the knees in a circle. So kind of like we just did on the ground, we did that forward rolling or forward rocking, and then we did rolling. And then on our back, you did side to side and then rolling or stirring or turning. And then let's turn the other direction. Both knees moving at the same time. And then bring those knees into the chest. Good, let's do a dead bug. Arms are in line with the knees. Right arm goes over the head, and then left arm goes over the head. So in opposition, your right leg lowers as your left arm goes over your head. And then you can add to this by extending the leg out. So thinking of the leg more like a saw. Now the trick here is to not let the leg get too low or you hang into your lower back. Couple more. Last one each side. Good. And then let's bring ourselves up. Just rock yourself up. And let's recheck the baseline. Go ahead and come all the way up. See where you're at. Hello again. And then just bring your arms up and over your head. Notice what feels better. Take your arms up. Feels nice and loose in the upper back and shoulders. Arms are down. If your head turn was your movement or a head nod was your movement, maybe it just feels easier. It doesn't feel exponentially better like you could carry somebody on your back necessarily, but feeling better is just feeling better. Notice when you feel good. Turns out, feels good to feel good. And then reach down and touch your toes. Forward fold. Notice again, oh my gosh, I just got down there. My hamstrings just release and let go. And here's where it's kind of magic. If you normally have a difficult time squatting, let's try a squat and see how that feels. How does your hips respond to that? So right now my heels are slightly off the ground. So we're gonna go into, because basically it's about me, we're gonna go and do a knees rocking again and a combination of a bunch of different rocking. Because rocking can really make that squat really come alive. And a squat pattern is a great pattern for the hips, the back, the shoulders, even the core. So let's go back to the basic squat pattern, but I want your toes to point back, like your toes are pointing to the wall behind you. So you're working the top of the shins. So the top of the shins don't get a lot of love because we don't tend to walk with our toes pointed down, and we shouldn't. And so allowing yourself to just rock back and forth. So let's go ahead and close the mouth, put the tongue against the roof of the mouth. Reconnecting to the breath. And then go ahead and then curl the toes now. So the toes are pulled towards the knees now. Again, moving. So you're not trying to move fast because it's not necessary to move fast. Low and slow is loaded movement, like you're actually trying to hold weight. Then you're going to take your left or right leg out to the side. It's called an adductor because these are your adductor muscles. So my back toe or my kneeling toe is curled under. Let's flatten that foot out and let's roll up onto the toe and the heel of my outside leg, my adductor leg. And then let's switch sides. So my right knee is underneath me, my left leg goes out, my right foot toe is curled under, meaning the toe is curled towards my shin. And then let's go flat-footed on the right knee, or the knee you're actually rocking on, and then roll up onto the adductor, roll back. So you're onto the toe, onto the heel, onto the toe, onto the heel. And let's bring the left knee back underneath us. You're going to bring your right foot forward. I'm going to give myself a little bit more cushion. And then you're going to rock back. So my right knee is up, my left knee is down, and I'm going to rock until my right knee goes down also. And then come back. And then rock forward, and then go back. Now, if this is too much, you go where you can go. So if that means you just go a little bit forward and a little bit back, that's fine. If you can get yourself so your knee comes all the way to the ground and then you come back, that's great. Notice I'm moving right hand and left as I'm dropping right knee and coming off. One more time, and back. Let's switch, bring that right knee down, left knee up. My right toe is curled under, and I'm bringing my left knee to the ground. Open those toes out if it feels comfortable. You don't have to force the movement. Sometimes you have to think about movement, but don't try to just force your body into just anything. One more. And then we're going to do some crawling. Nope, we're back. Hi, we're back. So let's just crawl sideways and sideways back. And again. And back. One more time. And back. Good. And then roll yourself all the way back and up. Come back up, nice and tall. And then let's check that baseline. Take those arms up. Feels pretty good. Arms down. Drop your chin. Notice there. Nice range of motion, no clicking or cracking for me. And then turn to your left and turn to your right. Now, keeping my head extended does tire my neck out. There's a little tensional pressure into my neck, but that'll work itself out through the day because my body will now align itself more upright. Let's try that forward fold. Feels good. And let's try that squat now. My heels came up before. Yep, heels are staying down now. So really just in about 2 or 3 minutes, I got my chest higher, my heels down, my hips wider, and just from doing some simple rocking mechanism. So just think about what that can do for you. Think about how you can take your movement from just tight, stiff, pulled to in 2 to 3 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes, you can actually open up the movement altogether and create better movement patterns. All right, let's sit back. You can get out of that squat. And then let's just finish up with some knees side to side. Little windshield wiper again. And then we're going to roll. So if you take your legs to your left, you're going to come all the way to your left and fold over and back up. Take your legs to your right and then fold over and then come back up. And we, folks, are done and done today. I hope you feel great today. I hope this movement was some eye-opening stuff and you're able to do it. So hopefully also, if the feed kind of turned off, you were able to stay with it and keep back on. And if not, come back again and we'll do it again. Technology will not best us. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later.